try to do this from my vehicle.
You're checking out the fly list. Here is number 19 in 2004.
Okay, guys, we're here live, and I wanted to make sure that we get this video in. Dropped Alyssa off to get her nails done. I have to be at the health club here. This is the Anytime Fitness I go to. But what I want to do is I want to go over resources, leads, and how important these things are to your future. I also want to go over the in-home sales training, and I also want to let you all know how I earned $55,000 in one day. Now, that may be hard to believe, and it might be hard for a lot of you to grasp, or there may be jealousy flying in the air, and I hope there isn't, because this information is given to you so you can not only have the right lead resource, but have the abilities to do what I've done in the homes on a weekly basis, selling the indexed annuity products as mortgage protection. And I'm going to teach you how to do that today. Let's start with the lead program. There is no better lead resource in the world than what we have for mortgage protection or final expense. And a lot of you with those teleleads don't have the understanding yet that these teleleads are somebody that has been sold on a telephone call that is going to be received. When you have the direct mail portion of this marketing in any direct mail system or any business, it has a call to action to it. They go sign the letter over, they lick the envelope, they mail it out, and they send it back, which means that they actually want the information, and you are the information. So you get back to them as quickly as you can, along with making sure that you have a lead order that is coming in on a weekly basis, no matter what. If you're hurt, injured, in a hospital, you're in a coma, you keep your leads coming. Your marketing doesn't stop. If you had this business here, or this Anytime Fitness, you don't stop marketing it. You know, you continue to market. This guy's constantly marketing because of the road he's on. Marketing your business is vital. Now, with the sales portion of this, how I change people's minds from using the ordinary sale of life insurance, per se, to cover the mortgage or mortgage protection, to inherently getting people to use indexed annuities is very simple. If I find somebody that has an annuity, I'm going to work with that anyway, aside from selling the deal. But if I run into a problem like the person has a graded issue, or they're too old to afford the mortgage protection, and they just don't have it in the budget to pay $500 to $1,000 to cover $200,000 mortgage, then I will use the indexed annuity by finding the money. And finding the money is something that you all need to learn how to do. And it is simple. It's in my strategy. So when I'm going through my strategy and making the sale, sitting down with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm finding out what they have. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, do you have life insurance? Yes, no. Doesn't matter what they say. If they say yes, this is good too, because they believe in it. On the indexed annuity side, I'm asking, do you have any money that Mrs. Jones would inherit after you pass away, Mr. Jones? See, I'm not asking it in a direct way where, Mr. Jones, you have a 401k? I say, what else will Mrs. Jones inherit? What else is she going to receive? So, Mr. Jones, I would, some guys out here outside my car and wants to talk to me. So I want to know what Mrs. Jones is going to be receiving after you pass away. So Mr. Jones will tell me he has a 401k, he has an indexed annuity. Like, I will list the things, like, do you have a 401k, a 403b? Do you have an indexed annuity? Or do you have any kind of annuity? I will let him know that this is what we can use, and I'll show you how to double that number in just 7 years. Because of the bonus added through a theme, the annuity, or whatever annuity you're using, it comes with a bonus. Within the 7th year, that number should double. In worst case scenario, 8th year, by history. So we're looking back 20 years on the illustration, which is vital to get out. I will pull illustrations out on their computer. So I will contact the carrier and say, I have a 70-year-old male, has $200,000. I want to do the, Elite Performance Elite 15 or whatever I do, and get that annuity sent to my email, and then I'll print it out on their computer. And I'll have that printed out right in front of them, and I will go over the numbers with them, and I will show them the history of the indexed annuity. So what I'm doing is I'm providing, this is mortgage protection, guys. Whatever becomes a number is mortgage protection at the end of the day. So all it has to be is money. It doesn't need to be the ordinary life insurance program. It can be any style of money. As long as you put it in there and make it double and you're using the right product, it's the right move for them. A lot of you may be using the wrong products or being taught to use the wrong products where people's returns are only 3% on their money when you can get them an average of 8% on an annual basis. That's what they averaged over the past 20 years, was 7.55% of an average of 8% annually for 20 years. And that's the look back period that you have on this. And you're able to show them that and provide them real, true information. Now you have to teach them, where is this money protected? Now, if this place goes up into flames, if Athene's business would go up into flames, how is this money protected? And very importantly enough, you have to understand how that money's protected. They have reinsurers, the money dollar for dollar is backed up by the federal government's involved, the whole 9 yards. So they're well protected. So you show them the illustration, and it provides them the comfort of seeing, whoa, I had no idea this was there. This is amazing. I like this. Even if they have an annuity, and I've replaced a lot of annuities. There was a month ago, we replaced a woman who had 8 different annuities. Over the years, she stacked annuities aside, and she was gaining like 3% interest. She had 2 that were with Athene already, and we can do internal replacement. So if they already have that company, you can still replace it with the new product. So don't be afraid to replace policies. You will have to look at the surrender charges on these. Most of the time, the bonus that you receive makes up for the surrender charges. I don't want to get too complicated with it, but all you have to do is get the illustration on the table. If you get an illustration for an annuity out on the table and in front of Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you will provide them with the information necessary to understand where their money's going, what their money would have done in the past 20 years, and how they can protect this house or this, or pay the home off in 5 to 10 years. I tell a lot of these clients, that tell me that they have $500,000. I say, listen, you can take this $500,000. It'll be like $1.2, $1.3 million in just 9 to 10 years. So in 9 to 10 years, you'll double your money and you'll have paid off your home along with leaving a larger inheritance behind. So it's incredible the things you can do with this style of product. To get there is what people have trouble doing. So the first step is ordering the resources. You've got to have the leads. If you don't order leads on a weekly basis, again, you're doomed. You will not make big numbers. You won't make any numbers. You can't order 10 leads and say, this is it. I'm in the game. I'm gonna market this. This is great. I got 10 leads and I'm gonna make a ton of money. That's not how it works in any business. You have to get the mindset, I'm a business owner. I'm the CEO of my own company, and I'm going to create a business out of this by marketing the company. So when you market the business, you get results, you keep getting results, and you make money. So that's that story for that. With when you get your resources and you get your leads, you start dialing. What's the best day to dial? Afternoons are great. Everybody's home. It really depends on your demographics. Some of you have younger demographics. I have an older demographics. I can dial any day. If you see on the lead that the age is 65 years of age, you can understand that you can dial at any time during the day. If it's below 65, they may be at work and you might have to dial on a Saturday. Alyssa does the live appointment setting every Saturday at 8 a.m. She has proven that these leads work better than any lead resource you will ever buy and invest into. And she's also put into vision, so you see it live, that she sets more appointments than most people do. 15, 20 appointments are being set, guys. I'm not sitting, sometimes I do sit with all of the people, but I may miss 1 or 2, to be honest with you, by reschedule, but they all reschedule too. So it's not just like they're dropping off. And this is mortgage protection. On the final expense side, here's my advice to people that can't make any money in the mortgage protection market, is to do it like I did it. Get final expense leads coming in. You can do B leads on mortgage protection. It's a simple strategy to understand that these B leads may have purchased mortgage protection, and if they did, it's probably the wrong product, which is good news. All you have to tell them is, Mrs. Jones, I'm already in the area. I can almost guarantee you that I can double the amount you're leaving behind for the same amount of money. And sometimes you can. But the process is just to get into the home. Just make sure you get into the house. After you're in the home, you want to itemize things. You want to go through it with them. Slice down the page, say Mr. and Mrs. Jones on one side. Put their ages at the top of the corners of the paper. Draw a line down the middle because there's two people that you're trying to discuss this with. Understanding what Mr. Jones is leaving behind for Mrs. Jones is the job. Most of the time, the woman has less than the man to survive after he passes, so we want to cover the woman. Put the insurance on the man to protect the wife. So you protect the wife by asking questions to the man and woman and say, Mr. Jones, do you have life insurance? No, I do not. Okay, great, wonderful. We're here to just give you some options. Here is my job, period. I am here to give you options today. I'm not here to sell, I'm here to tell. I want to make you comfortable by knowing that up front. So I'm going to give you all your options. This is what the bank wants me to do. They want me to provide you with all the options that you have to be able to protect this house against you being sick, hurt, injured, or even passing away. You can get the home paid off for your wife. So let me go through the options with you, and I'm going to go through them all. And it'll just take me a couple minutes, but bear with it. So what I need to do is ask you a couple questions to protect your wife properly. Do you have life insurance? No. Your Social Security, you the hire the two Social Securities? Yes, I am. Well, she's going to inherit that. The only issue I see happening is that Mr. Jones, it'll take about 6 to 12 months, worst case scenario, for your wife to inherit that. And that's where I see a lot of trouble coming, is that the inheritance of the Social Security takes 6 to 12 months to inherit, and then she has a time where she's based on her Social Security only, and she can get into trouble that way. So what we want to do is make sure that she's provided at least 6 to 12 months of coverage to make sure she can get to your Social Security and continue making the mortgage payments. Does that sound fair? Okay, great. Now, do you have anything else that you may be leaving behind? Do you have do you have any inheritance that you'd be leaving behind? How about a retirement plan or pension? Will she receive your inheritance there? Yes, she will. Is that a 401k or is that an annuity? So when you say the words annuity, it pitches out the fact that they may have one, and that's good news. I have an annuity. Oh yeah, who's that with? Oh, that's with so-and-so company. Okay, great. Let's say it's with MetLife or something. Okay, great. Well, here's the only issue I see with the MetLife program is that they're only earning about 3% on an annual basis, where most companies today are offering 8 to 12% on an annual basis. So what we're going to do is provide you the information you need and the options, all the options to protecting your home and even paying off the home early, Mr. Jones. That sound good? Yes. Okay, so let's move forward. We have the facts that he has Social Security. We know that the Social Security takes 6 to 12 months for Mrs. Jones to inherit, which gives a gap of time to protect. On worst case scenario, you can't protect the whole home because of finances. What your job is to do is buy them time. They have buy time to sell the home? For what? What do I always say on the videos? What do we protect the most in the home? Is the equity building up in the home so Mrs. Jones can sell. Here's a great question to ask her. Mrs. Jones, would you live in this house anymore if Mr. Jones was no longer here? This is a big house, so that's why I asked this question. No, I would move. When you hear those words, I would move, you can go into action to do a smaller number for them that's more affordable to buy them time to sell the house. Now, Mrs. Jones wants to stay. What do you need to do? You need to pay off the back end of the home, which means if somebody has a 30-year mortgage, Mr. Jones is 65. He's probably not going to die for another 15 years. You can do the policy from the 15th year on. You don't need to cover the whole house to make big sales, guys, but you do need to fit it in their budget. And this is where a lot of you make mistakes by not understanding what they have to afford before you pitch and stuff. So Mr. and Mrs. Jones, here's a vital question I need to ask, because all of this, in all the options I give, one is actually cost you nothing. So I'm going to provide that option to you. And they're pretty stunned to hear that. One of these options doesn't cost you anything, okay? But the other two do. So the other one is one. We buy them time with a small number. $25,000 buys her $1,000 a month for 2 years. $2,000 a month for a year. That's a good option. That's cheap. That's affordable. That's in everybody's budget. Number two, we pay off the back end of the home. We do it from the 15th year on. Mr. Jones, you look like you're going to live another 15 years. I don't think you're going to die anytime soon. So why don't we provide the information from the 15th year on and make it affordable? You can also provide the information to pay off the whole home at the end if they find that this is affordable. So you need to show the lighter end of it to go to the bigger end. Don't start at the big end to go to the smaller end. So with the indexed annuity, though, you have provided him with the information that you're only sharing options with them. He has $200,000. His home is $200,000. He has 30 years. In 7 years from this point, if he did an indexed annuity with the way things have been going for the past 20 years, with that proof, he would have doubled his money in just 7 years, and he'd be able to pay the home off in 7 years. He'd have 7 years of payments, and then he'd have an extra 200 grand sitting in the indexed annuity, and he'd be able to finish the home and pay the house off if he by choice did that. I wouldn't recommend him doing that, because I'd rather the annuity grow, but that's a great option for them to have. If he dies, she now has $400,000 in just 7 years. Why is it 7? It's because the bonus makes it in 7 years to 8 years, that number will double, okay? It doesn't take 10 in the first 10 years of this growth in an indexed annuity to grow to double. It only takes 7 years. So that's important to feed these people with that information and make sure that they understand it is just options that you're making them aware of. And if you do it that way, guys, you'll make a lot of more sales. You'll make people more comfortable using the word options and letting them know that you're not there to sell, you're there to tell. So remember this, with anytime you're sitting with somebody, if you don't review what they have, you don't have an understanding of what you're there to do. You're just pitching. And you're striking out left and right because you don't understand what they have. If they have $200,000 in life insurance and you don't know that, and you know it's either term or index universal life, which is good for you because you can replace those. So if you find out these things, you're able to do many things in a home. You're now an expert. You're a specialist in this field. You're no longer just a mortgage protection, final expense annuity rep. You're a specialist in this. And you specialize in protecting families from the worst days of their lives, along with getting all their money back. You have to emphasize the fact that all their money is returned in most index universal life programs after the 10th year. So beyond that, they grow income if you use the right product. What is the right product? Well, let's talk about the Forrester Smart UL. That UL has no top end. Okay, they took the cost of insurance down on that to go the distance, so the payout was always there. So you guys not using Forrester Smart UL is just incredible to me. The premiums are awesome, and the payout is just gorgeous to the client, and the UL goes the distance. Plus, it builds cash value as low as 4%. And all the way as high as the numbers can go. There's no cap on it. So it's ridiculous not to use that product. And all the benefits, the living benefits, and then there's more benefits. They capitalize on free wills. They do all kinds of stuff. They're fraternal order, so they got all kinds of stuff. 1% of the face amount goes to any charity of the client's choice. These are benefits that you can sell on, bringing value to the table. When you're selling on numbers and face amount, that's no value. You better watch out, because if I come in, I'm taking you off the table. And because you didn't bring value, once you bring value, nobody wants to leave you. You'll always stay there. Okay, there's rapport building in 2 ways. There's rapport to the point of trust with you the person to person, getting to know you. If I meet you, I want to know you're a nice person. I want to build rapport with you. You want to build rapport with me. Now, there's the second portion of rapport building, which is the how smart are you? How educated are you on these products? And how smart am I for buying it from you? Okay, that person wants to feel that they are making a genius move. And when you are able to use language, the insurance language properly, and give them the information in a way where they feel smart about that move, they feel comfortable and good about it, then you got them all day long. They're clients forever. And that's what you need for your residual income. So at the end of the day, guys, you really, really, really need to focus in on some product knowledge. A lot of you are using the incorrect products across the board, and you're losing sales because of it, and you're not bringing more value to the table. Like I told you, I would talk about a little more about the indexed annuity and how I use that for mortgage protection. On Friday, I think it was Thursday or Friday, I sold 2 annuities, one for $160,000 and one for $400,000. I sold those on the spot. Literally on the spot, they were sold for a $55,000 payday. One day was $55,000 I made on those 2 deals. Now, I am notorious for selling annuities weekly, and you can too, but what do you need? You have to have a little education on what to say. You don't even know, you need to know the products inside now. You just need to know how to pitch the product properly, and that's where a lot of you are failing. Why do I use indexed annuities as mortgage protection? Because it is. It's a number, it's life insurance, it grows money, it never has any downsides, it only participates in the upsides, the taxation's less. You turn money into life insurance under that law, so that if they have an inheritance from a 401k compared to a life insurance program, they get more out of the life insurance. The taxation on a 401k, 403b, thrift savings, whatever it may be in a stock-based market is going to be heavy. It's like 30-40% because it's been deferred all that time. When that person inherits, they have to pay big taxes on that deal, and that ruins the money. You know, you take $100,000, you owe 30%, you get 70. So that doesn't make sense. Get them all the money by indexed annuities. And top annuities today, F and G all day long. Athene by far has been number 1 again. So, you know, when you throw that bonus of 13% on these, if they're 65 and below, they get a 13% bonus. That's incredible. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. I took some guys $400,000 who had 13% to that, and then the woman's $160,000, I had 8% to that. So in 7 years, these numbers will have doubled for these people by proof of a look back at 20. For 20 years, it's been that way. That's incredible. You can really show them what it's been doing. So I tell them, look, for the past 20 years, if you were doing this for the past 20 years, you would have doubled your money every 7 years to 10 years. Only the first 7 doubles. After that, it's about 9 to 10 years. It can be 8 too, depending on the market. So, but the bottom line is that what happens is you're able to do a couple things. You turn money into life insurance under that law. 2, you're helping them grow and establish an inheritance that's a hell of a lot larger than what they have. 3, they can't lose a penny. You take them out of the frickin' market. They're too old. They're not being matched by their employer anymore. They're in the wrong markets 9 times out of 10. They're averaging 3 to 4% interest after all fees are paid to the brokerage and brokers. So you take them out of that. No more fees, no more brokers, and just the index points off of the carrier's, carrier's earnings. So basically you're making money on some of the largest companies in the world. You got Athene like $200 billion. How can you go out of business? You know what I mean? It's almost impossible. So that's how you do that. And to get to that point, you just need to make sure that you get stuff onto the table. And people want to know that you know and understand. And part of that is by you establishing rapport to the point of trust as a person, but through education too, saying, I already know what you have. I know that you shouldn't be using it this way. You don't say this directly, but you know this. You should not be using a 401k. You know this. You don't say it. I am here to show you all your options so you and Mrs. Jones can make the best decision for your future, in which I, as the professional, me as the expert, am telling you as my options are the best choices. That's why I'm sent here, is to give you the best options. That's why the banks work with me. Okay? So just understanding that will help your future explode. Like I said, lead resources. I know what I know. I've worked at every IMO. I've helped companies build. I've been a part of a lot of organizations. And I'm telling you right now, we own 4 lead houses across the country. We design the lead. We understand the market. We know the lists. We know what lists the purchase. So when we do our direct mail, that you're at the right demographics in the home. You will not find better demographics than what I'm giving you. You will dial 20 leads, and 9 times out of 10, you will set 19 appointments. Why? Because they filled the card out, guys. And it's the demographics of people that purchased homes or refinanced, and you're guaranteed first in the home. If you just do the right thing with our lead resource, you are guaranteed first in the home. Nobody else will need to become. They don't need to see anything else. You're the best option. I don't know. I try to inform you guys every week about these things, and it just, I'm blown away. I throw huge numbers on the board every week, and I just don't know. Maybe some of you feel that your friendship to the organization holds you back from going anywhere else. So as long as you have a friendship mentality in this industry, you'll always be that guy that's held back from moving forward, or woman. And you need to make sure that you're doing this for you and your family and not for a friendship that you made through some organization. If you find a better opportunity, go for it. Go, man. Try it out. Investigate it, whether it's mine or somebody else's. But you got to move forward in this industry, and you got to keep moving. And if you don't evolve with the industry in the future, you're doomed. And resources marketing is important for your future. So I'm telling you right now, best lead resources you'll ever purchase. So we will get you in the home. What you do in the home from that point is up to your training, your education, you practicing this stuff in homes. Guys, your failure is going to be your success. Do you understand right now? If you face this now, you'll be better. If you face the fact that next week you're going to fail, it'll be easier on you. Don't look at every sale. Why are you looking at every sale every week? Why? Because you're struggling? You better stop that mentality right now. You better start looking at your monthly income too. Your bills are due monthly. Who cares if you didn't earn anything last week? You may care, but I'm just saying, if you didn't earn anything last week, next week you're guaranteed to earn. I'll tell you why. The numbers always owe you. Remember that. The numbers owe me now. After 3 or 4, even 10 people haven't purchased, you're guaranteed a sale now. You know what I mean? It's just the numbers. Now, you can make those numbers obviously better by using the right products and bringing more value to the table, because I'm going to put it this way. Somebody filled out a, let me see if I got a lead. Do I have one here? I don't know if I have a lead with me, but anyway, if somebody filled out a card and they mailed it back, they obviously want some information. Okay, you're the information guy. I'm coming to give you your option, Mrs. or Mrs. Jones. I'll be in that area tomorrow at 2 p.m. Does that work for you? Yes, that works for me. Okay, I'll see you then. Again, dialing. The right time to dial for me, all day Saturday, start at 8:30 a.m., dial till 10, you're done for the week. You set, and I'm going to tell you this too. You were trained to set 48 hours out. Now, with our lead resource, you can set 4 days out, and they will be there. I never have an issue with people being there. Now, if you have to travel far, and you're new to the business, I always advise 48 hours. But if you're a veteran and you're good on the phone and they're writing it down, and Mr. and Mrs. Jones know that you're coming, it's in their phone, it's in their calendar, you can go 3-4 days out. You can do your list. You may want to redial and make sure they're there if it's a distance you have to drive, but you can get the appointment preset. If they don't see you, and they will reschedule. I never have a problem with people rescheduling. So listen, the numbers are huge. I mean, you can make just astronomical numbers in this industry, as you know, but just getting you to food, clothing, and shelter, being able to put gas in your car and affording leads at this moment is what I'd like to do for a lot of you. So, if you're interested in a new career option and you want better training and you want better resources and leads and you want to use better products to bring more value, pretty smart to do, and build more numbers, here's your problem. You're chasing down the amount of premium that you're being able to pay through comp level. You're always searching for better comp level, which doesn't make you money. You need better education is what you need before you need comp level. You haven't even earned your stripes yet, and you're asking for 130% comp, 120, 110. I will take 100% comp level, blow the guy out at 140 because my resources are better. My training is better. Period. So stop chasing down comp level. I'm at 130. Nobody can match that. I can't leave here because I'll lose money. You know how many people I have drop in their 130s to come here for 100, 110 is beyond. It's every week. They see the numbers. They understand. When I put them on the phone with my guys who are at 100% comp level and telling them I made 5, I made 10, I made 15, I made 20, I made 30 this week, they're like, I can't do that at 130, 140 a month. There's something's broke. You know what I mean? So you got to hustle your ass off, and you got to have the numbers in place to do those numbers. But with the right resources, you can do those numbers all day long. You can make 30 grand a week. You can make $10,000 a week. You can make that money. You can make $100,000 a week. And a lot of people say, oh my God, he must be talking about having an organization built. No, what I'm talking about is the indexed annuity market. Do you people understand how many millions of dollars are generated every day through the indexed annuity market? It's unbelievable. So when you don't understand is that you can take that mortgage protection lead. You can convince people of their options. Understanding their options is vital to you making sales, larger sales, and providing them the information that you already have the answer, Mr. Jones. You have put away $400,000 in your IRA. Your IRA is probably averaging you 3% on an annual basis. So here's what I'd like to do by showing you all your options. Not only will you pay off your home faster, you'll leave a better inheritance, you'll never lose a penny in the market, and you'll be paid out a bonus along with an 8% annual interest rate. So if you can deal with earning 8% annually, we got a great deal for you. So I'm going to provide you that information so you can review that with your wife. Do you guys have a computer and a printer? Yes, we do. Okay, I'm going to call the company. I'm going to get this illustration, and then I'm going to do these other numbers for you while we wait. If you guys can give me about 5 minutes, I'm going to take that time to do this, and then I'll provide you with the information, and then we're done. Okay, great. So I call the carrier up. I get the information. I just got a 60-year-old, $400,000. I put a 13% bonus on there, so immediately they jump by tens of thousands of dollars. Boom, within the first 7 years, because of the bonus, they have doubled their money. He'll be at $800,000 in 7 years. Do you get that? $800,000 in 7 years. That's incredible. Worst case scenario is 8. But guess what? Your illustration provides you the information. It shows you the numbers. That's important. That's vital to you making these sales, is the illustration. Now, you did a couple things. You protected his money from the downside of the market. You took him away from smaller interest rates to higher interest rates. You got him a big bonus up front, and you provided him with the future to pay off his home early in case he passes away. His wife is now protected, his family, his kids. You got to bring up the kids. Guys, if God forbid both of you were taken out, you both died tomorrow, who would get the home? Our kids. Are they splitting it? Would one of them live in here? No. You know, a lot of people may say that our kids get it, and they think that the mortgage is just inherited. And you, as the expert, need to understand they don't inherit a home. There's a mortgage on there in a dead person's name. The bank wants their money, man. They got to buy that home. That's a new purchase. That bank, without those mortgage payments, will sell the equity in that home, make money, and put it back on the appraisal market. So you got to get that in their heads. You got to be the, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I have to apologize, but I am here to do my job and give you these options. Remember the word options. It provides you with a comfortability in the house that's beyond anything I can tell you. I'm here to give you your options, but you know, if you pass away, this house does not become your kids. It's in your name. It's in a trust. It's in the bank. The house is in your name. It doesn't go to them. The mortgage payments can go to them after they purchase the home. So they're going to need what? They possibly need a down payment. So you can provide them a small number for a down payment, or you can provide them a large number through the indexed annuity market, or you can provide them a large number through the premiums of a Forrester Smart UL or F&G at 8% annual on the cash value and living benefits. There's so many products that you all don't understand or know. It's crippling your finances. It's really beating the hell out of you not understanding the simplicity behind these products. So again, $55,000 was made in one day through the indexed annuity market. I've sold annuities probably every week for months now. I'm just killing it with these things. But it's obvious that there's something I'm saying that's providing them a comfortability to want to do this. It's not just about it's not a sale, by the way. I'm just sharing options. I'm not selling. And when you're able to provide them the information properly, and you have the right lead resource, and you have the right organization backing you, you have the right training on your products, and you understand your products to a minimum, at least understand what they do. You don't have to understand them all inside and out. Just understand a little bit about what they offer. Bringing value to the table is what I do. I will blow everybody out of the water with value because I understand the value that it brings. Now, I've become a specialist doing this. I'm not just a mortgage protection rep. I'm not just a final expense rep. I'm a specialist in all areas. And that's why I'm able to provide final expense, mortgage protection, annuities, retirement plans, funding college funds, 401k markets. I'm able to do that through the indexed annuity market. The new 401k of today is tax-free retirement. When you're able to provide that to young people, you take them out of their 401k market, you put them into the indexed annuity market, and you use F&G all day long for that 9 times out of 10 to get them, provide them the information. This thing has been earning 8.7 and 9.7 annually on that cash value. After the 10th year, it starts doubling their numbers. And at retirement, most people can retire with an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month due to this and never lose a dime to market downsides. So it provides them a hell of a lot more than the 401k will. I want to go back to the indexed annuity market real quickly here and tell you that when I sit with people and I'm providing indexed annuities as mortgage protection or as final expense too. I mean, it covers funeral and pays off the mortgage or buys somebody time. My job is, for me anyway, is to try to pay everybody's house off early. I really want to go in every home and try to pay the house off early for them. So the only way I can do that is fishing. So I go fishing for what they have. What do you have now is the question. And I make a list of things that I need to know in my mind. And I'll make a list for everybody. I'm writing things down. I'm trying to create things for reps that make this a step-by-step process. So as you're in the home, you understand their age, you understand their names. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm here to give you your options. Use the word options. When I provide you your options, there's going to be several I have. There could possibly be several anyway. And after we get through this, you'll understand what choices you have, and you too can sit back and make a decision whether this works in your life and whether it's good for your future. So here's what they are. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through that. Now, I'm going to start with this. Do you have life insurance? Yes. Do you have anything else Mrs. Jones will inherit, Mr. Jones? Like, do you have a pension? Do you have an annuity? Do you have a 401k? Yes, I have an annuity. Okay. Do you know what the value of that annuity is? What she'll inherit from that? It's $400,000, and that was the one I had. It was cash actually, but we'll do this as an illustration because a lot of you are passing things up because you're not telling them what they may have. You may say, "Do you have anything else to inherit?" And they may say, "Yes," and then it might be cash in the bank, but they forgot about the annuity they bought years ago. So you have to list some things. You have to say the 401k. Do you have a pension? You can't turn a pension into annuity. I just say that word to make them feel comfortable with what I'm trying to get through. Do you have an annuity? Yes, I have an annuity. Most annuities that people have purchased in the past only earn about 3% interest. If they're lucky, they found the right one, but most of the time they didn't. There's 1.7, 1% annuities. So when you find out who it is, who's that with? How much is it valued at? Okay, there's an option there for you. Now you can share with them that this $400,000, I would like to do an illustration. I want to provide you the options, and I'm going to show you how to take no downsides in the market, pay off your home early, participate with 8%. You're going to get a 13% bonus up front that you have complete access to, and you're going to be able to double your numbers from that point on about every 9 to 10 years. And that'll help provide not only your family with the support they need to pay off the home when you pass away, but also you to live a better life while you're alive, making you more money. Hence meaning, if you take your $400,000 today, you could probably take $2,000 or $3,000 for the rest of your life. That's great. If you turn it into $800,000 in just 7 years, you'll be able to take $4,000 to $8,000 for the rest of your life. You know, that's the difference. And it turns the money into life insurance under life insurance law. So we want to take the taxable money. When they inherit that money in that 401 or in the 401k and other markets, that's 30%. In the indexed annuity he has, that's under the life insurance law too. It could be a variable annuity, and that's a market-based product too, so it's heavily taxed there too. So what I'm doing is I'm taking an annuity and I'm turning it into mortgage protection, okay? And that's how I'm providing, but I'm giving them all their options. I still will lay out the premiums of what it will cost to do what. 1, protect the equity in the home, buying Mrs. Jones time. So the important question I needed to ask, Mrs. Jones, will you live in this home if Mr. Jones passes away? And if that answer is yes, then I want to try to protect as much of the home as I can. I usually will start from the 15th year on. Remember I said, don't show large numbers yet. Do that at the end. Provide them with the small numbers first. The one that buys time, $25,000. Forrester's Smart UL, best product you can use for newbies in the index universal life market. Use the Smart UL, get used to that, and then you can move into the indexed universal life markets with the other products that we have. But for now, the Smart UL, and even PlanRight, their PlanRight product is fabulous for final expense. It's cheap, man. It gives you big numbers for a less price. Why do I use this product too, even with PlanRight for the final expense market, is because all the benefits that they give to the client. They give a lot of value to this product. So they give free wills away. 1% can go to charity of the face amount. They're earning interest. So, you know, that 4% is where they're at now, but there's no cap on that Smart UL. So it can rise as high as possible. And they did that to take the cost of insurance down, though. So this particular product, unlike many index universal lives where the cost of insurance goes up every year, this is staying down and it's staying more level. So the product stays in place until death is why they did it. So this is important stuff for you to know, because when you're in the home, you want to build value, okay? So using the Smart UL. Getting to a point to understand that the value is this, is that I'm able to protect a home. I'm able to pay the house off early. I'm able to either buy them time or pay off the back end of the house, which is from the 15th year on. So use those numbers first. Provide them, and lastly, we got to know the budget. Let me rewind. If Mrs. Jones tells you that she would move from the home, you can go into motion to understand that you're buying her time. That's it. So you can do small numbers. You can do the 25,000, 50,000, to even 100,000, depending on what. What do you need to know now? You need to understand the budget. You got to know what they can afford monthly, because there's a number left behind every month of what fits into their budget. So this is what we're after now. On a sheet of paper, you write down $500, $750, and $1,000 a month. You turn that sheet of paper around on a clipboard or in front of them, and you say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, out of the three of these numbers, 500, 750, and 1,000, what are you closest to every month after you pay all your bills off? So after you pay all your bills off, what number are you closest to every month having left over? Are you 500 and below, or are you $1,000 and above? We have about $1,000 a month left over. We have $500 left over. I'll tell them this. If you have $500 left over, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like you to be earning some interest on this. So one policy now becomes valuable for two people. Here's how. If somebody's putting money away into a cash value bucket of a life insurance policy, and the individual, let's say we have it on Mr. Jones. The policy, the $25,000 is on Mr. Jones. It pays out to Mrs. Jones. But Mr. Jones doesn't die. Mrs. Jones dies. But he has the cash value over 15 years building up in this thing. He has to cash it out. So he actually has life insurance on her because of this one product. He cashed the policy out to protect her in the time of need. Now, this is a long-term solution, but it works because I'm bringing more value. I'm showing them what the product does. Sorry, guys. Their money being placed into an interest earning policy doesn't lose, it gains. It earns more than their bank account 9 times out of 10 if it's in the right product. So you give them that value of and reinsurance that, Mr. Jones, this policy's got value for both you. This $25,000 is always Mrs. Jones's, but the cash inside it is always yours. So if she died first, you'd cash this policy in. So basically, you're paying $200 a month for, it'd probably get her 50 or 75,000 for that amount, but you're paying $200 a month for something that'll be $20,000 in 15 years from now, and provide you with living benefits, provide you with a free will, provide you with the cash value interest earnings, and provide your wife the payment on the house you'll need. There's so much value in there. You can't lose a penny. You're putting it away into a savings account that's earning interest, and then you or she will get paid. Somebody in this house is getting paid, okay? And then at the end of this road, here's the third thing. If you two pay off the house before you're dead, here's another retirement schedule set aside, which most people will need because of inflation, because of tax increases. So I covered all bases. They can't even, I'm twisting her head so much. They're just like buying. They're purchasing. They're investing. They're doing it because of value. There's nothing I missed. How could somebody say no to that? We have a savings account. We're earning interest on it. It pays me if my wife's dead. It pays her if I'm dead. If I get cancer, heart attack, or stroke, it pays me, helping both of us. And if I can't do 2 of 6 daily activities a day, it'll also pay me. So I got the bathing, eating, dressing, toileting, transferring myself around, even driving a car. They're going to pay this number out to me, and I benefit along with my wife, and we both have an extra piece of money that we may need due to my heart attack, cancer, stroke, things like that. Guys, it's gorgeous when you do it that way. You bring value to the table, have a good time with them, and remember you're bringing options to the table. That's your job, is to share with them the options as an expert. You're the expert. They should be listening to you, telling them what to do. You came there as the expert, and when you act that way, the rapport building part of this is you always build rapport to the point of trust with person to person, but that rapport building also has to be on the end of the product knowledge and numbers. Get good at numbers. I write everything down. I swear to you, by the time I leave a home, I have written on that much paper. Sometimes it's that much, but most of the time it's this much. I will write on paper everything I'm talking about. 500, 750, 1,000. Which of these 3 do you have left at the end of the month? The budget. Know the budget, man. Listen, if they have $500 a month left over, they can afford to invest that money back into $100 a month to $200 of that can go into another savings account. That's protecting cancer, stroke, heart attack, and the payment on the home. It's absolutely gorgeous how it works. It works every time. So remember to bring value to the table. If you don't bring value, you're not going to make the big sales. You're not going to make any sales for that matter. And if you sell the wrong products, you're going to get your policies replaced one day. I promise you, you will sell the wrong products, you will get replaced one day. There goes your residual income for life. So do the right thing the first time and make sure your leads are coming in on a weekly basis. You have a company, you have a business, market it like one. Stop messing around with your company and market it like one. If you have life reps and you're being unfair to them in any way, shape, or form by having some friendship with another organization that you feel is the best organization since sliced bread because they made you a couple bucks, it's not true. Things are going down the tubes at a lot of organizations, and the reason is they don't have to go out of business, but the reason is because they're bringing in an MLM system. And when you don't educate the rep, you fail them, and you're hurting people. So at the end of the day, if there's not education on a daily basis at your organization, if there's not the right lead resources at your organization, if there's not the right product knowledge at your organization, you have the wrong organization. So for your own benefit, it doesn't have to be mine, but just find an organization that educates you, get you smarter, you know what I mean? Get product knowledge out of them, and make sure they have training on a daily basis for you. back office training, videos, things like that. So at the end of the day, all of this is vital to your future. And, you know, that's it, guys. It's about all I got for today. But I don't know if, let's see here. Anybody have any comments or anything like that? I'm going to text in here. If text lead, if you want leads and you want to try the lead resource, the #1 lead resource in the country, and you'd like to try it, you have to text me lead, and then text me your name too, along with and then if you want to join the organization too, you can text me join. So I'm gonna tell you about real quickly. I take the resources. It's live every Saturday morning. We're setting 15, 20 appointments a week with no problem. You're also and I'll be honest with you. For me, at this point in my career, I can do that on a B lead sometimes too. But it takes, you have to be good on the phone too. You really do. And I'm going to tell you, your scripts are too long. Most of you are using the wrong scripts, and they're just way too long. They're not giving you the time. How about the movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith in it? He beat everybody out by spending less time. He wouldn't even take a piss because he knew he had to be on the phone. Those long scripts are keeping you on the phone too long, taking too much time. Something you do in 2 hours, I do in 30 minutes. So I'm trying to teach you how to eliminate time, put more time towards your life and your business. So having the right lead resource helps. When you're able to contact somebody and say, Mr. Jones, I'm calling on behalf of ABC Bank. I'm the mortgage protection expert who is in that area to give you the information that you had requested. I will be in that area tomorrow at 2 p.m. Does that work for you and Mrs. Jones? Yes or no? So you just inform them on who you are, what it's about, get the appointment set, lock it in, make sure it is solicited to the point that they wrote it down while you were on the phone. Get them to write it down and make sure the significant other knows. Is it okay with your wife? She'll know that you were doing this on Tuesday, right? And she'll know it's at 2 p.m.? Okay, great. So I have you down at Tuesday at what time did we say, Mr. Jones? 2 p.m. Yes, so he has it. So, those are little tricks of the trade that a lot of you got to utilize to make sure that your appointments are solidified and that solution is amazing to your career. It'll set more appointments. It'll have more people at the door. We're setting 4 days out, guys. We're setting 4 days out and people are there. I don't have to call anybody. They're there. I may have people that reschedule, but nobody ever says no. I swear to you, not many of these people say no. I don't remember any anyway. So at the end of the day, when you're able to see more people, you're able to sit with more people. So when you're sitting with more people, you sit, you sell. So you have the set, you got your sit. Now you're into the sale part. And that sale part is important also, right? Obviously. So what we need to do there is we got to know what they have. So make a list of things. What do you think you need to know about what people have? How much money do they have? What kind of inheritance are they leaving behind? Get used to thinking that way. What are they leaving behind? Because if you talk in a way, Mr. Jones, do you have a 401k? How much is it worth? I want to know that he understands that I'm there to protect people. So when I say the words, how much are you leaving behind and what are you leaving behind to Mrs. Jones? How much are you leaving behind and what are you leaving? He knows that I'm there to protect her. So I got to know these numbers because and you may get like a very small percentage. I shouldn't even say this because it might scare you guys from doing this. You may get a small percentage of people that say, why do you need to know this? Well, here's why. Because of options. I told you I'm here to give you all your options. And these options are, they take me having some knowledge of what you may have. Like, do you have life insurance? If you have life insurance and it's worth $100,000 and you owe $200 on your home, then wouldn't it be smart of me to show you $200,000 and $100,000? So I'm going to show you all your options is why, Mrs. Jones. So that doesn't happen often, but it could happen here and there. So the brightest thing for you to do is be prepared for any objection. Objections aren't objections. They just lead to the sale. I fear no objection. It's just a uninformed person speaking, because if they have an objection, they just are misinformed, or they just don't understand, or they've just never been told this before. So your job is to get the education over to these people to make sure that they understand, they have the right education, and that they have the right knowledge of what you're doing along with the product. They get to know, like, and trust you, but they also got to get to know, like, that product too. And when they like the both of those together, you made your sale. And bringing more premium to the table. Why? Because there's more value. When you bring more value to the table, you bring more premium. Bring more value, bring more premium. Use the right products, you bring more value. Hence, more premium. So what I would do is, real quickly, I'm just going to go over this one more time. You got to have your lead resources coming in on a weekly basis. 2, you got to understand what they have in the home. 3, you must understand what's left over at the end of the month. Do you understand how much money's left over at the end of the month is vital to you understanding what you can use. So if somebody has $1,000 left over a month or more, you understand, I'll put a premium for $500-600 on the table without even hesitating. You know why? Because after I put the illustration together, I'm going to show them what their cash value return is. So if they pay off the house, they have another retirement schedule. It acts like an annuity. It can dump money monthly to them. Number 2, I can provide them the information that if Mrs. Jones dies before you, Mr. Jones, that you inherit the cash. It's earning interest. Now, let me ask you this. You have $1,000 a month left over. What do you do with that? Some people may say, well, we spend it. Well, so you don't have an extra $1,000 left over. I want to know what you have left over. Well, we have $1,000, but we spend it. Okay, great. So you have $1,000. But what do you put in a bank from that? Do you put any? We put $500 a month away. How long have you been doing that? We've been doing that for 2 years. So you have roughly, $12,000 in the bank or more too? So now I know that there's cash in the bank. So I can take that cash and I can show them an indexed annuity for $10,000 or more. So I can sell small annuities, I can sell large annuities, I can protect them, I can show them avenues that they never knew of. So remember, Mr. Jones, I'm here to give you all your options. Let them know it's options, and they will be comfortable with you. I'm telling you, that word makes them comfortable when you say options. So that's it, man, for today. I don't know. I'll wait a second. If anybody has any comments, I think I can see them. If you have any comments or questions, you could ask, I guess, in the comments section. If not, so everybody next week has, because you were here, you have at least, you got a nugget, and that nugget could be options, could be using the word options, it could be using indexed annuities as mortgage protection. Is there a minimum amount to qualify for a bonus on the annuity? No, just as long as it is a $10,000 and above cash deposit, and it doesn't have to be cash, but a deposit of $10,000 or more, they will always receive an 8% or 13% bonus. And then some have no bonuses too, guys, but they perform well. Like Fidelity Life and Guarantee, they have a great product. It's right there with Athene. The only thing that they lack is the upfront bonus. You know what I mean? So it really makes sense to me to really get them the bonus, because, like if I take that guy, those 2 annuities I did on Thursday or Friday, I can't remember which day, but if I didn't give them that bonus, the numbers don't look as pretty, you know what I mean? But that bonus really helps me also effectively tell them in just 7 years, that number has doubled. So in just 7 years, your number doubles, you know what I mean? And that makes it a hell of a lot easier to sell that deal because they have a shorter period to wait. Now, from that point on, though, after the 7th year, it'll be every 8, 9, or 10 years. 8, 9, or 10 years from that point on, depending on the market. So if it's 8%, it's more like 10 years. If it's 12%, it's more like 8 years. So it's just about every 8 to 10 years, they will double their numbers. And just helping them live and provide more income to deflect what? What are they deflecting by earning more income? Some of you might have said inflation. So inflation's correct. So you deflect inflation. And that's what's amazing about the market, is that it does that. Let's say we have a market hit. We have another crash. They're in a market now what provides them zero as their hero. They can't go below that number. Zero is your hero. So, you know, it takes them away from the market downsides. Also, I mean, these negatives, you know, I always write on a piece of paper, I'll say, this is the market you're in, Mr. Jones, and circle the upsides of the market and say, this is a 21%. This happens every 5 to 7 years. And then you have these negatives of 30%, 20%, 10%, and even 50%. Did that 21% do anything for anybody? Plus you have the fees of the broker. So in our market, I draw a line straight up. It just inherits money on an annual basis, basically, and keeps going up. Now, on a crash, a complete market crash, and that's what it would take for this thing to stop, is it would flatline. It would just flatline. You don't lose a penny. So you let's say you dump in your $500,000, you get to 700,000, the market crashes, and you don't lose a dime. But then most people that are at 300,000 have to start from 300 grand. You're starting from 750,000 or 700 grand. So you start from your 7. You'll always outperform. If I put the 401k aside to this annuity in a 20-year period will outperform the 401k at all times, every single time, because of the downside market hits and the fees, the brokerage fees. So there's no way other than the indexed annuity these days for people to protect them, especially after they leave work. These people that deal with these stockbrokers, there's a word that I write on paper a lot inside homes. It is change. People don't like change. I'm sorry about this, guys. There's some quack on here. So they don't like the name. They don't like the word change, and they don't like change in their life, period. So what we have to do is we have to evolve them to make those changes. We have to provide them with the proper information and the education to make those changes. And when we do that, guys, we help families like no tomorrow. We protect families from the worst days of their lives, and we make these people money. So at the end of the day, that they are in a better situation, and for you, the rep, you get paid out tens of thousands of dollars per deal. So that's a $55,000 day I had. That's incredible. You know, that adds to my annual income, but that adds to a lot of comfortability of not worrying about money. You know, every month I'm doing 30, 40 grand a month now, and it's provided a different lifestyle, but a comfortability. For me, it was never the money. I've always been self-employed, so I've always made some kind of decent cash throughout my life. But this is like NFL money we're talking about here. This is really amazing stuff. So when you're able to do that, and then it's next level. You know, you start building the organization because my reps are getting smarter. I don't need 700 reps. I need 300 smart ones. You know what I mean? So any more questions? Wayne, you have any more questions? Any comments? So, you know, what you need to do this week is make sure you put your lead order in. Number 2, make sure that you learn a product. Get to know the value of the product. Like if you're the client, what would you want to see from a rep? You'd want to see value. I want to know why am I purchasing this? I want you, while you're in the field, while you're sitting with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I want you to understand what you're providing to them in value. You provide them living benefits. You provide them with cash value interest earnings. Remember, that's interesting because the cash value portion of this becomes somebody's if the other dies. So if Mr. Jones has life insurance on him that pays Mrs. Jones $50,000, the cash value inside that bucket over years of earnings, his earning interest, that's his if she passes away. So if Mrs. Jones passes away, Mr. Jones has coverage too on her. So one policy acts like two, but they're investing into one, not two. So it provides them with more comfortability that, wow, you know what, we're protecting both of us in a sense, not just one of us. And that makes them feel great about this. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you bring the value towards the product itself. Know the living benefits are real easy, guys. Cancer, heart attack, stroke. Just say those. Write it down. A lot of you are saying these things. You're not writing it on paper and sharing it with them. Show them what you're writing. Show them the numbers. What else do you need to do this week? You need to know what's there on the table. You need to know what's there on the table. You need to know what the budget is. $500, $750, $1,000. Are you above or below $500 a month, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, after you pay all your bills? After you pay all your bills, are you closer to $1,000 or $750? We're around $1,000 a month. Do you take that? Do you put that $1,000 into the bank? Most of the time, yes, we do. Okay, do you have any plans for that money? Is that just savings for your future? Yes, it is. Okay, so instantly I will know if their health is good. I will do Fidelity Life and Guarantee. I will show them 8.7, 9.7 returns on their money. I will not only do that, but I'll protect the family from cancer, heart attack, and stroke. I will also provide them with 2 of 6 daily activities like bathing, eating, dressing, toileting, transferring themselves around, and things like that they would inherit the money, and providing them with a face amount that pays out. So I got all bases covered of value, and it shows them that putting $500 a month away looks like this in the cash value bucket. So when you provide the illustration to them, you call Fidelity Life and Guarantee, got a 50-year-old non-smoker, so on and so on. I need an illustration on what product, you know. So you got to learn your products. And thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Guys, you know what? It would be very, very good if you guys could like and share this. And I like the comments. Thank you very much for the comments. And if you could get this out there to others, I really do this just to help others. I mean, I find myself coming from a place where, you know, I grew up broke, and having the ability now to make all the money that I make is just something that I'd like to share through the skills that have taken me a lot of years to get to learn how to do this. But if I could give it to you overnight, I would love to do that and watch you make a ton of money. But remember, I'm telling you right now that you need the right lead resource. If you text me leads, I'm going to provide you with some information that you don't have and you can't get a hold of that will provide you with a better lead resource that will help you sit with more people, set more appointments, and sell more deals. Period. I mean, period. It's proven. If you go to my YouTube page and you watch the video of Alyssa setting appointments, you'll see that it's very simply put, it's that she's setting more appointments than anybody you'll ever meet. And it's because of her ability to sit at that phone and stay concentrated and not be too hyped and not be too low. Tonality, things like that make a big difference. And she understands that the objection isn't the objection, and she will turn people around. I don't think there's anybody at turning people around on the phone or in the home than me. I swear to you, I'm really good at this because, I don't know, I'm gifted in some ways by God and to talk to people, but at the same time, there's that ability that the products give me, which is the knowledge from the products of the value that they bring. And that allows me to sell more deals too. Can't just be me. I need me and the products. Me and the products are a team. And when you look at it like you and the product are a team, but eliminate the products that you're using. Use the products I'm telling you, and you'll make a hell of a lot more money. Take some of these products off the table. America, shoot it out the door. Take these products, get rid of them. They're good, replaceable. You want your income to go down, go ahead and use them. But I'm telling you right now, you use products like Forrester, Smart UL, their Plan Right product. You use AIG for your graded product. You can use Fidelity Life and Guarantee for retirement planning and helping somebody like a young person put $200 a month away for a great future someday. It's a new 401k of today with a tax-free retirement. You realize when they pull that money, it's tax-free. Tax-free retirement. And lastly, you should really do it on yourself. Take an extra $200. Start with a small product. Put that money away for your future. You can overfund these things. You can put more in as you get more money. But, you know, later on, you start one for $500 a month, $1,000 a month, and you'll inherit a big number at the end. Then sometimes you can take this money and you just turn it into an indexed annuity, you know, some of these policies. I put it this way, if each one of you could take $10,000 a year and put it towards an Athene annuity and just let it ride, just keep doing those every single year, you'd have a great retirement. You know what I mean? You put $120,000 away, you'll have, like, you know, it'll just keep coming. The money will just keep coming. On a monthly basis, you'll have a great retirement. You'll have money every month coming in. If you don't, it's going to hurt, man. So got to start now. By starting now, you change your life. All right, if there's no more, anybody have any questions? Is there anything like that? Anybody? Anybody questions? Anything? Any comments or questions? Listen, I want to thank you all for being here today, and I want to let you know it means a lot to me, the great things that you say about the videos, and I'm sharing what the reality of this industry is. The reality is that you're going to be working with some tough people out there. You will fail, but your failures need to become your successes. Do not get depressed about it. Become thrilled by the fact that you have made it to this point. You're still in the industry. You're thriving, you're driving, and you need to make it to the next level of this industry, which the first part is food, clothing, shelter. The next part is the bigger money. So get the education, guys. Watch my videos, like my videos, share my videos, stay on the videos. Get more training too on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Sorry. I will be going over the Forrester Smart UL and how I use it for return of premium, okay? And then we will do some in-home training, and I'll let you guys in on some other great secrets I have to selling larger policies and selling annuities weekly. Okay, you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to go hit the gym now, and thank you for being here.